Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing today? It's Saturday. I'm excited. We're going to dinner today. I was while the timer was doing its thing, I just wrote down something that just popped into my head. Nobody wins when the family feuds. That's all. That's it. That's all. Hey y'all, my name is Organized Chaos. Welcome to my little channel. If you could do me a favor and hit that subscribe, like, and share, I would surely appreciate it. It's early Saturday morning because I got things to do today, child. My Boogaloo turned 17, so we having a family dinner tonight. Well, not tonight because I don't eat really late, but we're gonna have a family dinner, lunch dinner type thing. this afternoon. And then I gotta go shopping because New Edition is in town and I'm going to see them tomorrow. And a girl need a cute outfit to put on. So I gotta go out here and, get my little shimmy on and shake a little bit and give me a cute little outfit so I could be comfortable and cute at New Edition tomorrow. All right. So let me get into my chat. And I got people that I would absolutely love for you guys to go subscribe while you are here. If you could just, it's free 99. Subscribe to a girl, like and share. I'm on the road to 500. The goal is 500 by 50. That's the goal. Whether we get there or not, that's still the goal. And 500 will still be the goal. And then after that, it's going to be 1,000. So yes, we are looking to get to 500 by 50. 50 is coming up in June. Oh, I'm excited. I have never been so excited for a birthday. Like, absolutely never, ever, ever in my life have I been this excited about any of and I've had some banging birthdays. Girl, when I turned 30, I had so much fun. And then 40, it's always decades, though. I always do big things on decades. This one, I kind of been birthdaying since October. I've been doing all kind of birthday behavior things since October, and I'm going to do all kind of birthday behavior things all year. This is my year. This whole 2022, it's my year. So I'm excited. So yes, please help me get to 500 by 50. That is my goals right now. 500 by 50. 500 subbies by 50. Shout out to my sis, a Foxy and family. If you guys will go subscribe to her, she is one of the most positive spaces on YouTube that I know about. She is just one of the sweetest people I've known for over 20 years in real life. And so, yeah, that's my homie. She going with me in July to see Usher in Vegas. We out of here. We going, girl. We is up in there. I can't wait. Subscribe to my big virtual sis, Saki Speaks, please. We just had a new dose of FS birth control. Go subscribe and get you some. I think today was 28, dose 28. I see you are a family and Bikini Body. Bikini was on this morning, bright and early. Hey, loving. How are you? Happy Saturday. It's good to see you here. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. Subscribe to my girl Evil. Evil is still like literally. I'm sure Evil is live right now. I've been chatting with Evil all morning. Evil is our trucking ASMR of it all. And today, Chile, Evil was singing and rapping. And Evil, Saki, I don't think you was there this morning. Evil was trying to put blasphemy on Tupac's name, talking about she don't really like Tupac. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. Hey, Evil. I'm talking about you. Hey, Cindy White. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Learning is giving love to Evo and acknowledging Cindy. Thank you so much. All right, you guys, it is Women's History Month. And so I am approaching it however I feel like approaching it. It's going to be a little random. Hey, Evo. I'm deleting that whole now. Evil. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. You will not blasphemy Pac. Absolutely not. We coming to get you. And I'm telling Saki on you. I'm telling all of the tales to be told. I'm the other snitching. I'm snitching on you. I think you younger than me anyway, Evil. So I get to snitch on you. Now, how about that? Okay, anyway. Technically, I made this a drinking journal, even though it has a different type of thumbnail. I'm going to use this same thumbnail for everything I do for Women's History Month for March. I hope y'all been drinking y'all water today. So far I had coffee, I had my apple, and I have a love-hate relationship with these little ice cream sandwiches that I love to eat. They're made out, instead of ice cream, they're almond stuff in the middle, almond milk-based ice cream because I'm lactose intolerant. A lot of black people are. So yeah, like I will eat those all day. And I gotta stop because, I gotta stop. It's stopping me from losing these last 3 pounds I need to lose. Even though the last 3 pounds ain't holding your girl up, because my photo shoot is next week and I'm so excited. But y'all can't see the pictures when I take them until I get ready to show them to y'all. I'm trying to save them to my birthday, but child, I might show them to y'all before then. We'll see. Oh, excuse me. Little I have allergies. Like, and I get a lot of like mucus. It's like always in my head. Springtime, but I'm in Michigan. Our weather is terrible for allergies. I swear. And as soon as I leave here and go somewhere else in a different environment, my allergies disappear. Well, hello, Universal Tea with Marie. Welcome to my channel. I'm so excited you're catching a live. How are you today? I appreciate that. Thank you so much. I love seeing you. I'm trying to be like you when I grow up. You are absolutely gorgeous. And I love listening to your stories that you tell. I saw the one the other day where your friend, and your friend was in Michigan. I'm a Michigander. And your friend got caught and is in jail right now. Oh my goodness, Marie, you got stories for days. I love it. I absolutely love your storytelling. Yes, thank you for being here. I appreciate you. All right, y'all. So we're going to get into it. I have a couple of different places that we're going to go. 1, 2, 3, 4 different places are on my monitor right now. I only have one article. That article is in the description of the video right now. So let's get into the things. All right, let me share my screen and I'm going to tell you what we are talking about today. Oh, you're writing a book? Oh, now that's going to be a good book, Marie. I'm looking forward to that. Okay, wait, why is my screen blinking, girl? Hey, girl. Let me see. Let me stop and figure out why the screen is acting like that. All right, let's try it again. Share my screen. All right, that's better. All right, Marie, you got to let us know when your book is out. I'm looking forward to that because your stories are awesome and amazing. And you are a survivor. You've been through so much. You have so much wisdom to share. And I think that is so awesome and amazing. Keep going, sis. You doing it. You done been through the things and you are looking absolutely amazing and gorgeous. Like that fire turned you into a diamond, sis. I love it. All right, so today's Women's History Month contribution is about Black women and them being killed by police. Black women being killed by police. May I ask, do I have 1 and 2 screens? I don't know what you're saying. I don't know what you're asking me right there, Marie. Oh, but wait, I think I have you on my channel. If you guys are not subscribed to Marie, I don't have you on my list. I need to pull you on my list. Hold on, Marie. I'm gonna go find your channel real quick before I get started. And I'm gonna pull you up so we can help each other get subscribers. Give me a second, you guys. All right, here we go. All right, let me copy that and paste that. If you have more than one monitor. Oh, that's what you're asking. Okay, I'm back. I'm back in the chat. I think I spelled that. Universal TEA. Universal TEA. Okay. All right. That's how you can subscribe to Universal Tea with Marie. Just hit that link. Yes. So when I share, so in StreamYard, they added a new feature for you to be able to share. So I have my laptop and I have a monitor to my left. Today I'm only using my monitor. Yesterday when I went live, I was able to when I create my Google Slides presentations, I can share directly from the Google Slides. That's a new feature that StreamYard added so that I don't have to use the monitor. So like last night, I was able to just stay in front of the laptop for most of the presentation because I was looking at the screen that I was sharing on my laptop. Today, I am very likely going to be turning this way more often than not because I'm going to be reading from the monitor, because what's on my screen is too small for me to read. But when I share my presentation directly through StreamYard, I can read that from the screen. I hope that makes sense. Yep, but I do have a monitor. So yes, I'm using two screens today. All right. So this is an article. This is the article that is inside of the description. This is from Insider. 50 Black women have been killed by U.S. police since 2015. Not one of the officers has been convicted. My Wi-Fi is Wi-Fiing. My internet is interneting. So I'm going to wait a moment until it looks like it's back. And it is. All right. So not one of the officers has been convicted. For years, activists and researchers have called out how often people overlook Black women killed by the police in the United States. So I'm going to pause right here because there is actually a link that I've already opened up, and we're going to go into that link to have this conversation first. This is a video. Say her name. Black women are killed by police too. Black women in the United States are, I'm sorry, y'all, I'm multitasking. I'm trying to grab my sound box. Speaker. Girl, it's a speaker. See a sound box. It's too early. So that y'all can hear the video when it plays. Black women in the U.S. are disproportionately more likely to be killed by police than white women. Despite this, the campaign group Say Her Name believes deaths of Black women at the hands of police are overlooked compared to deaths of Black men like George Floyd. One of their members, Gina Best, talks about the fatal shooting of her daughter, India Kager, and asks why Black women like her are erased. All right, let's get into this video.
They said that they shot my daughter by accident, that it was unintended. But remember, they launched the attack first with flashbang grenades. They ambushed, threw the flashbang, and then shot her.
She had a baby. Her baby was in the backseat of her car. Jesus. Oh, absolutely, Marie. Absolutely. Please. And I would appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Yes, baby Roman survived, but when they threw the flashbang grenade, India turned and she had bullet wounds all in her back.
In her back.
They shot. She was trying to protect the baby. The foster mother told me that when she got little Roman, 4-month-old baby, he had cuts on his leg from the glass, the windshield and everything. Cuts on his little legs because he was wearing little shorts. She had to pick out human tissue out of his hair.
Jesus. His mother's human tissue was in his hair.
From his mommy and daddy.
Oh, his daddy too. Jesus. Because that's who they were trying to get. All of this to get to the daddy. Grossly negligent. $800,000. Is that how much a Black woman's life is worth? $800,000.
Why is it that women who are killed by police do not get the media amplification? The world erupted at the murder of George Floyd.
Facts.
It was on video.
Facts.
But there's video of my daughter as well. Look closer, because Black women are killed by police too, and then we're erased.
All 4 SWAT officers then returned fire. So they're saying that they were shot at first. All 4 SWAT officers then returned fire, killing Perry and the driver of the vehicle whom Perry was leaning against. Virginia Beach Police Department. So Say Her Name is created in response to Black Lives Matter, because Black Lives Matter has not focused on Black women. Erased and forgotten. Yes, Evil, erased and forgotten. No, at least not on my page, at least not on my watch. Hey, Bikini. Hey, boo. Yeah, this is sad.
About a third of women who are killed by police in the United States are Black, but Black women are less than 10% of all women.
80 Black women killed by police.
It's hard to live in a patriarchal society and think women's lives are as valued as much as men. Racism has typically been seen through masculine eyes. Racism is often seen as a conflict between men. It's often seen as a conflict over masculinity. The most common historical image of racism is the lynching. It's a lynching of a Black man. One thing for sure is that more men are killed by the police across the board. So we have not had a history in which we've been able to see clearly how anti-Black racism plays out in women's lives across the board. If you can't fully see a problem, you really can't fix it. And that's what we have to be about.
If you can't see a problem, you really can't fix it. If you can't see a problem, you really can't fix it. If you don't talk about it, if you don't bring it to light, if you don't educate yourself, if you live in denial, you cannot fix things that you do not acknowledge and address.
In this moment.
They stole Roman and Evan's mommy from them. Evan was 4 years old at that time. So in his little mind, he knew something was wrong. He crawled up on my lap and he wiped away my tears. And he said, "Mommy, Grandma, don't cry. I'm going to help you find Mommy."
Jesus.
He said that when he was 4.
It's gonna.
Yes.
It's gonna be all right.
It's going to.
Aww. He's still telling his grandma it's going to be all right. And his mom is gone. Oh, my goodness. Jesus.
Be all right. Thank you. Yes, it's going to be all right. They kill us too when they kill our daughters. And nothing is done, and the world has turned a blind eye. They see George Floyd. They don't see India Kager. I don't want that to change. I want them to see her too.
I want them to see her too. She just wants her daughter to be seen. She knows she can't get her baby back, but she wants her to be seen. She wants her to be remembered. She deserves to be remembered.
I want them to say her name too.
Oh my goodness. Okay, let's go back. Whew. Let's see what you guys are saying in the chat before I go on. Good morning. I see you are a family. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. Yes, this is sad, and we got more to go. But stay with me, you guys. This is important because this is the kind of stuff that we don't talk about. The news doesn't cover it. We learned that with Lauren Smith Fields, right? Like, it was YouTubers that brought her story to light. And so this is not new. This has been a problem historically in our country and probably across the world. Black women, whatever. But women are violated and killed. It's okay, Marie. If you're crying, it means you feel it. And baby, listen, by the end of this, I keep my tissue right here because y'all know I'm a big old crybaby. I don't even hold you up on YouTube. If I feel it, I will let my tears come out. This is heartbreaking. Yes, say her name, India Krieger. Let's keep going. Violence towards Black girls and women has always received far too little coverage, leaving the loved ones of countless victims of state-sanctioned murder without justice, said Arisha Hatch, the vice president and chief of campaigns at Color of Change, a nonprofit civil rights group. From February 2015 to March 2021, the police shot and killed at least 50 Black women, identified in police reports and by news outlets. The true number might be higher. Researchers who study institutionalized racism have widely documented that Black women are among the most invisible groups of people in the country. Let me say that one more time. Black women are among the most invisible groups of people in this country. I'm going to take you guys to another article that is linked there. It's dated July 13th, 2020, and this is from the American Psychological Association. Oh, that's too many at one time. All right. Let me get to the chat before I get into the article. I know there's a lady in California that's trying to recognize these women. That's good. I got it, Marie. That's why I tell women to get them a little sister. Absolutely. Black women are often ignored by social justice movements. Washington. Black women are often less likely to be associated with the concept of a typical woman and are viewed as more similar to Black men than to white women, which may lead to some anti-racist and feminist movements failing to advocate for the rights of Black women, according to new research published by the American Psychological Association. Black women are often overlooked in people's conversations about racism and sexism, even though they face a unique combination of both of these forms of discrimination simultaneously, said lead researcher Stuart Coles, a PhD candidate at the University of Michigan's Department of Communication and Media. This intersectional invisibility means that movements that are supposed to help Black women may be contributing to their marginalization. The research was published online in the APA journal Translational Issues in Psychological Science. The study was conducted online with more than 1,000 participants from the United States who were asked whether 41 positive or negative stereotypical attributes such as hostile, sexually promiscuous, or determined were associated with different races or genders. Participants were told that their responses were not an admission that they believed these stereotypes, so they would answer honestly. Some participants were asked about stereotypical attributes just for men and women, or for Black people or white people. Then other groups were asked about a combination of race and gender: Black women, Black men, white women, and white men. The clustering of these responses show how Black women were viewed in relation to the other groups. The typical woman was considered to be much more similar to a typical white woman than a typical Black woman. Black women and Black men also were considered to be more similar to each other than to white women or white men. The operative word in defining how similar to other groups Black women are is more Black and less women, the journal article noted. The under-differentiation of Black women from Black men may help explain why Black women face similar rates of racial disparities in traffic stops and arrests. But anti-racist movements often focus on Black men in the fight against police brutality, said Josh Pasek, PhD, one of the researchers on the study and associate professor of communication studies and faculty associate in the Center for Political Studies at the University of Michigan. This is reflected both in terms of the victims of brutality who are highlighted and whose voices receive the most attention, said Pasek. In this moment, we can see how much more attention has been paid to the murders of Ahmaud Arbery and George Floyd than the murder of Breonna Taylor. Arbery, a 25-year-old Black man, was shot dead in February after being chased by 3 white men as he jogged through a neighborhood in Brunswick, Georgia. Taylor, a 26-year-old Black woman, was shot and killed by police in her Louisville, Kentucky apartment in March. Floyd, a 46-year-old Black man, was killed during an arrest in Minneapolis in May. His death set off protests across the country. Previous research has found that Blackness is associated with masculinity, leading to errors when categorizing Black women's gender or recognizing Black women's faces. Other studies have found that Black women and girls are more associated with threat and danger than are white women and girls. Feminist movements that focus only on issues that predominantly affect white women without addressing racialized sexism ignore the needs of Black women who face higher rates of police abuses, including sexual violence, Cole said. Previous research also has found that Black women experience much higher rates of domestic and sexual abuse from partners than white women, and Black women are less likely to report this violence than white women. Feminist and anti-racist movements should include Black women in leadership roles and advocate for the rights of Black women, Cole said. The key often starts with listening to Black women about their concerns and what their needs are and then delivering accordingly, he said. 3 out of 4 study participants were white, while 8% were Black, 8% were Hispanic, and 5% were Asian. These responses weren't analyzed based on the ethnicity or gender of the participants because the study wasn't examining whether the participants endorsed specific stereotypes themselves. Previous research suggests that members of marginalized groups are aware of stereotypes of their groups, Cole said. Thus, they would likely report the same awareness of stereotypes as would members of other groups. So what this article is telling us is that Black women are not viewed in the similar light as white women. They are viewed in the same light as a Black man as being a threat, but they don't get the same type of attention or outrage when things happen to them like a Black man would get. They don't get that support. Let's see. Most invisible, but most stereotyped. Say it again, Evil, for the people in the back. Most invisible and most stereotyped are Black women, for sure. All right, we'll see you when you get back, Marie. Hey, BJ Diz. Good morning, sunshine. All right, back into our article. Insider created this database to document the Black women killed by the police since 2015 and to shine some light on the consequences of violence in police interactions with members of the public. The circumstances of police shootings can vary, as you'll see in each person's story. All right, so let's go through this. Right now, I have it alphabetized by name. I am going to go from the latest to the earliest. So, these are all of the 50 women that this article is referring to. I am not going to go through each one individually. This article is in the link in my description, but I am going to go through a few of them just to give you guys an example of what type of information is here. So let's start with the first one. Absolutely evil, like Sandra Bland. Like there was like, did she like are we really saying that Sandra Bland took her own self out while she was locked up? When that story came out, I was like, Girl, please, just stop it with the lies and the falsities. Just like, girl, she did not do that to herself. Okay, stay focused. Let me see. All right, let's start with Nika Hobart. So Nika Hobart was 31 years old when she passed away. She was in Nashville, Tennessee, and March the 12th, 2021. This time last year, this happened to Nika Hobart. In March 2021, in Nashville, Tennessee, Officer Josh Baker pulled over a Chevrolet Camaro registered to a person with 6 outstanding drug warrants. But another person, Nika Hobart, was driving. The police said that Baker found marijuana and a powdery substance in her bag, and that Hobart resisted arrest before Baker used a taser. She pulled the gun from inside her car and shot Baker, and he returned fire, the police said. She drove away. Her car was found driven off the road a block away. She died at a hospital. The outcome: it was unclear whether Josh Baker had been fired, charged, or convicted. This insider filed a public records request for this information. Why wouldn't that information be readily available? Let's go look at, we know a lot about Breonna Taylor. I remember a Tatiana Jefferson. She was 28 years old, Fort Worth, Texas, October 12, 2019. Officer Aaron Dean shot a Tatiana Jefferson through her bedroom window while she was playing with her nephew in October 2019 in Fort Worth, Texas. A neighbor had called officials to carry out a welfare check at Jefferson's home. Dean was charged with murder and is awaiting a trial. He pleaded not guilty. The officer outcome: Aaron Dean was charged with murder. He is awaiting trial. So we don't know the outcome of this yet. Let's go down to somebody that I don't know about. April Webster, 47 years old, Darlington County, South Carolina. Date of incident, December 16, 2018. Synopsis: deputies in Darlington County, South Carolina, fatally shot April Webster in December 2018. Webster's wife, Elizabeth Gainey, had called for assistance, fearing Webster would hurt herself. Family members said Webster had bipolar disorder and schizophrenia. Gainey told a local news outlet that officers had said they would use non-lethal de-escalation methods, but when the deputies arrived, Webster had a knife in her hand and they shot at her, authorities said. Deputies involved, Christopher Smothers and Bradley Tate, were not fired, charged, or convicted. Insider filed a public records request for more information. And let's do one more. Let's go all the way down to Yvette Henderson. Age 38, location Emeryville, California. Date of incident February the 3rd, 2015. Synopsis: the police in Emeryville, California shot Yvette Henderson with an AR-15 in February 2015. Court documents say Officers Warren Williams and Michelle Shepard suspected she might have shoplifted from Home Depot. shoplifted from Home Depot. Did she take a girl? Was it a 2x4? Was it a bathtub? Was it a pack of gum at the checkout? Was it super glue? Maybe she. What? Officer Warren Williams and Michelle Shepard suspected she might have shoplifted from Home Depot and shot her several times in the head and the back. The police said she was armed and pointing a revolver at the officers. Civil rights complaints and autopsy reports, however, said the shots to her back called into question the accuracy of the officers' reports. Like what? Her back. In the wake of her death, activists forced the Emeryville Home Depot to close for hours. Outcome: Warren Williams and Michelle Shepard were not fired, charged, or convicted. Girl. What? Right, suspected. Huh. This is why people should be careful of calling police officers with false narratives and never assume. Flat out. Flat out. Most Black people won't even call the police because we already know. And most women, that's why we won't call the police on Black men. We don't want them to get killed. You calling the police on Black people is absolutely a setup for our murder. It absolutely is. And yes, Cindy, it is totally disgraceful. All right, so all of the 50 women are here, you guys. Again, that article is linked in the description. I'm going to keep going because there's more information in the article that I want to get to. So this is going to give us more information about Yvette Henderson, and then it's going to give us some information about police officers. Cindy White says, exactly. Evil says, that's why Meg didn't call. Girl, listen. And then when we don't call, we get talked about. When we do call, we get talked about. When we cry, we get talked about. When we don't cry, we get talked about. Because all the world seems to believe is that all Black women need to do is suck it up and be strong. We got to be the strongest. I'm not cussing today. I'm not going to cuss today. I'm not. I'm trying to do better. I'm a big number age out here, but I still cuss. So don't hold me to that. But listen, what is it that the world wants from Black women? Y'all want us to be meek and humble. Y'all want us to be strong as fuck and carry the world on our back. Y'all want us to stand up for Black men, stand in the gap, marry Black men, and talk nice about them even when they don't do right by us, when they abuse us, misuse us, mistreat us. You want us to support you. And there's nothing that we can do right. And then there's a whole sector created to hate Black women. I don't even know if it exists in the real world. I know it exists on YouTube because I've been in those spaces. That manosphere space, they just hate us. It's like, what you want us to do? Do you want us to not exist anymore? Would that make you happy if Black women just cease to, like, it's such a confusing space. Me personally, it's so toxic. Like, there's nothing that we ever do right. Nothing. We're strong. We raise our kids by ourselves, and we still fucked up because we didn't raise them right. And it's all our fault if our kids turn out to not be exactly what the world thinks that they should be, right? Then when we do right and stay with the man that we have these kids with, but the man is abusive to us, misuses us, if that's the case, then we should have left. Girl, we can't win for losing. And then we shouldn't be single women out here having babies. But you want me to marry some toxic, masculine, foolishness who's going to make my life with him much more difficult than my life would be if I were just a single mother. Like, I can't win for losing. Then you want to tell us, well, we shouldn't be having sex. You don't tell men not to have sex. Sex is a part of life. Don't tell women they need to deny themselves that's something that's a part of life and their humanity and human beings. Women, have sex. Protect yourself, but have all the sex you want to have. Don't let nobody tell you that having sex is wrong. And if you want to have a baby, have a baby. If you don't, protect yourself from having a baby, because ain't nobody going to protect you out here but you. Ain't nobody going to protect your kids out here but you. If you luck up and you get you a good man, girl, take care of that good man and stay with that good man. Other than that, live your best life and quit listening to the people who ain't got nothing to do and who ain't helping you. If somebody got something to say about how you live in your life, but they not helping contribute to your life, turn the noise off and walk away from the foolish bullshit. Flat out. Girl, you can come in my channel. I'll do enough for you. Girl, we already know. I'll be over there for them cursey words, Evo. Yes, on point. Hell, our own fucking black men hate us. That's what I'm saying. Like, we just get girl. And then the thought is that we did all of this to ourselves, right? Like, we created all of this. No, we live in a system that was set up to treat us this way. And when black men buy into that system, that patriarchal system, because they want to be at the top of the food chain, they don't care about us. They like, get it how you get it. I made it to the top. You can too, sis. Like, we can't win for losing. Black women against black women, black men against black women. Girl, when I hear black men talking terribly about black women for any reason at all, it does something to me on the inside. Like, I can't listen to that. It feels like it's inviting toxic energy into my being. And I can't. I just cannot. I have to turn it off and walk away. All right, let's get into the article. Some more. In 2015, officers in California shot Yvette Henderson several times in the head and back with an AR-15. They had suspected her of shoplifting at a Home Depot and alleged that she had pointed a gun at them. While protesters closed the store and demanded surveillance footage of the fatal shooting, national news organizations, including Insider, barely covered Henderson's death. Jamison Robinson, brother to Henderson, told Insider he first learned of her death after a phone call from his aunt Brina. She told him she had been watching a local news channel when she heard a news anchor say Henderson's name. Can you imagine hearing your family member's name on television, that they've been shot somewhere because they were out shopping or doing something? Like that feeling? My heart instantly dropped, Robinson said. My emotions were all over the place, trying to understand what happened to my sister. There isn't a single day that goes by that I don't think about her, Robinson added. A year before Henderson was shot and killed, the Say Her Name campaign launched to bring attention to Black women harmed by police violence. Since 2014, Say Her Name has become an integral part of the Black Lives Matter movement and mobilized grassroots operations nationwide to acknowledge the lives of Black women, girls, and femmes lost to police violence. Names like Tatiana Jefferson and Breonna Taylor entered the national conversation as organizers leveraged the campaign to change the popular narrative about police violence in the wake of the killings of Black women, said Carissa Lewis and Charlene Carruthers, activists with the Movement for Black Lives. All right, I'm going to pause right here and go to our last article that I want to share with you guys. This is the African American Policy Forum. Say Her Name. Black women are killed by police too. So this is about Say Her Name. It says, fill the void, lift your voice, say her name. I'm going to put this link into my description as well. Launched in December 2014 by the African American Policy Forum, AAPF, and Center for Intersectionality and Social Policy Studies, CISPS, the Say Her Name campaign brings awareness to the often invisible names and stories of Black women and girls who have been victimized by racist police violence and provides support to their families. Black women and girls as young as 7 and as old as 93 have been killed by the police, though we rarely hear their names. No, listen, I'm gonna tell y'all a story. I don't know if y'all used to watch. It was a police show that they used to tape in Detroit. I don't know if it was Cops, one of those shows, and they had to stop taping the show because the police officers rammed through a door, and there was a child asleep on the couch, and the police killed that baby. And that was, I think, the last time they did an episode of, I think it was Cops. I'm not sure. I just remember it was a big deal here. Like, it was huge. It was all over the news. Like, these police officers are losing it. Knowing their names is a necessary but not a significant condition for lifting up their stories, which in turn provides a much clearer view of the wide-ranging circumstances that make Black women's bodies disproportionately subject to police violence. To lift up their stories and illuminate police violence against Black women, we need to know who they are, how they lived, and why they suffered at the hands of police. On May 20th, 2015, at Union Square in New York City, AAPF hosted Say Her Name, a vigil in memory of Black women and girls killed by the police. For the first time, family members of Black women killed by police came together from across the country for a powerful vigil designed to draw attention to their loved ones' stories. The family members of Alberta Spruill, Rekia Boyd, Chantel Davis, Shelley Frey, Kayla Moore, Kyam Livingston, Miriam Carey, Michelle Cassell, and Tanisa Anderson were present and supported by hundreds of attendees, activists, and stakeholders. That same week, AAPF and CISPS, in partnership with Andrea Ritchie, released a report entitled Say Her Name, Resisting Police Brutality Against Black Women, which outlined the goals and objectives of the Say Her Name movement. The report provides an intersectional framework for understanding Black women's susceptibility to police brutality and state-sanctioned violence, and offers suggestions on how to effectively mobilize various communities and empower them to advocate for racial justice. Over the past 5 years, the Say Her Name campaign has expanded and increased its focus on direct advocacy. Since 2015, AAPF has hosted its annual Say Her Name Mother's Weekend in New York City, bringing together a group of mothers who have lost their daughters to police violence. The weekend served as a chance to learn more about the specific needs of the family members of Black women who are victims of racist state violence and provide a space where these mothers can begin to construct a community of support and a network for activism. Including Black women and girls in police violence and gender violence, discourses sends the powerful message that indeed all Black lives matter. If our collective outrage around cases of police violence is meant to serve as a warning to the state that its agents cannot kill without consequence, our silence around the cases of Black women and girls sends the same message that certain deaths do not merit repercussions. Please join us in our efforts to advance a gender inclusive narrative in the movement for Black lives. Yes, all of the tears, all of the feelings, all of the sadness, and all of the anger. All right, let's finish off our article. In 2015, this work led to the first National Day of Action, calling for an end to state-sanctioned violence against all Black women and girls, Lewis and Carruthers told Insider. Over a dozen cities held actions, leading us to campaign work that shapes our movement today. That work plays a large role in more people and communities seeing themselves being valued for the first time in a mass movement for liberation. Insiders tracked 100 officers. Now, this is what's really interesting to me, you guys. Insiders tracked 100 officers involved in the killings of these Black women. Through research, conversations with activists, court documents, records obtained through the Freedom of Information Act, we found that most of the officers involved did not face any consequences. Insider identified 14 of those 100 officers who had been fired or charged. One officer, Scott Cadian, who killed Sandy Guardiola in 2017, resigned, though it wasn't clear whether he did so because of the shooting. No officer has been convicted. Let's say that again. These officers don't get convicted. There's never been a police officer convicted based on this research for killing a Black woman. In a few of these police-involved shootings, like the case of Francine Graham, the officers appeared to face potentially life-threatening circumstances. There are debates, however, concerning whether law enforcement responds equally to people of color and white people who pose real threats. Shooters of color, for example, have been labeled terrorists, while white shooters have been called mentally ill, a Washington Post analysis details. Be mindful when you read the news. I tell my students this all the time. Be curious and question everything. I have a sign in the back of my little virtual classroom that says it. It's up on this wall over here. Be curious, question everything. And I also just did an activity with I have a group of diversity students that I work with, and we did an activity about stereotypes in media. We read 3 articles together. And if you just read the article for face value, your narrative will go to where the writer wants it to go. Police officer involved and he was beat up. The first thing you're going to think is, oh, the police officer, what did they do to police officer? We stand behind the police. And then they go into who did the beating up of this 22-year-old police officer. And that 22-year-old police officer was beat up by 14-year-old boys. It didn't make sense. So have those conversations and discussions. Be informed, you guys. The media either doesn't cover us or they pick and choose and they stereotype and they scapegoat how they cover us. Several women in the database had mental illnesses, according to family and activists, and were likely unaware of the situation they were involved in. Monique Janae Decker, for example, had schizophrenia, her brother said. She had allegedly refused officer orders to put down knives and rushed towards officers after shouting, "Kill me." In response to a request for comment, the Anaheim Police Department said the Decker shooting prompted department-wide training for suicide by cop encounters. All right, we're going to get into this information as soon as I look at the chat. Hey, Nola Reeds. I watched one of your videos today about Joseline's Cabaret. I've never watched the show, but your analysis is hilarious. I felt like I knew what you were talking about, and I did not, but thank you. Yeah, Evo, no officers convicted. Not one. Let's look at this. Let's look at this data. So Insider identified 100 officers. So you guys, these badges on the screen there's 100 badges on this screen. Watch how the badges change as we get into what they're talking about. Insider identified 100 officers involved in the fatal shootings of 50 Black women from January 2015 to March 2021. So some of these have turned Black. 71 officers did not appear to face repercussions, such as being fired, charged, or convicted. Insider was unable to verify whether 14 officers were fired, charged, or convicted. There's only 9 officers left, and those 9 officers were fired. There's only 5 officers left, and those 5 officers were charged. One was charged with aggravated assault by a public servant, another with murder, and a third with second-degree murder, manslaughter, and criminally negligent homicide. 2 other officers faced civil charges. Now, there's only 1 officer left. 1 officer resigned, but it wasn't clear whether his resignation was a direct result of the shooting. Of the 100 officers involved, none, 0, there's no badges left on this screen that are blue. No one was convicted. Activists pushing for racial justice are hopeful these conversations and actions will spur change. The majority of Americans are now comfortable publicly stating that racial justice is an important marker of the well-being of our society, and they are now demanding that people in power address it, Hatch of Color of Change said. Now it's about turning this energy and expectation into a governing majority, addressing not only police reform to stop the bloodshed, but legislation that uplifts and empowers our communities, Hatch added. From economic justice to ensuring that mainstream media no longer disregard Black lives, this ultimately means creating equal access to tools that demand responsiveness and accountability. Most police departments did not return Insider's request for comment, but the few departments that did provide a statement justified the shootings. What else is new? In some cases where an investigation is still pending, police departments decline to comment. And there's an editor's note. This story was updated to add additional context behind these police-involved shootings. The end. All right, I'm going to come back to you guys. And then we're going to get into the chat. Oh, hold on. Let me get Nola. So you guys, let me see. I don't know if I have Nola on here. If I don't, let's add Nola to my list. Nola is so cute. I like your hair, Nola. Nola Reeves. There you go, right there. Let me grab your link, Nola, and share you with my little community, because that's kind of what we do over here. We share each other. We support each other as much as possible. All right, you guys, let me wait. I'm doing too much too fast. I'm multitasking. And then I'm going to come back and get into the chat. As soon as I can grab this, change this, and put Nola. Is it 3 Z's? It's 3 Z's plus a big Z. All right, you guys, let me grab it and post it. And if you guys will please go subscribe to Nola Reads. All right. Oh, absolutely, Nola. I try to move around and watch the videos. I don't always leave comments, but I will like a video. Depends on what I'm doing. Yep, charged, no convictions. Charged, no convictions. Charged, no convictions. Child. BJ Dad says, I am not surprised that no one was. And that's the sad part, right? Like all of these things happen and we're numb. Like we've just become so numb to this normal in America that we're not even surprised anymore. And that's why nobody is taking action, because it's like just another day in America until it comes to your front door, until it happens to you, right? Because you don't get to pick and choose who, when, where, how, and why these tragedies continue to happen. But we can, and I need to grab this link from here, because becoming activists, becoming aware, and being involved in some way, shape, or form is really vital, you guys. It's really important because this needs to stop. And we all need to do better by each other in general. I'm going to say this again. I said it at the beginning of my video, an hour and 5 minutes and 30 seconds ago. Nobody wins when the family feuds. Nobody. We need to do better. We need to be better. This is Women's History Month. The least we can do this month is keep other women's names out of our mouths. We can do that. I think we can. It's Women's History Month. We need to acknowledge our greatness. We need to acknowledge who we are and our place in society and our place in our own lives. Are you important to yourself? Do you uplift yourself? Does that uplifting of yourself help to uplift others? If it's not, can you just at least for the month of March not talk bad about other women, especially Black women? See, this is like watching Color Purple. I can't go outside and deal with the clear people the rest of the day. I'm sorry, Evil, because you got to deal with the clear people, girl. You got a load to drop off and unload. I'm sorry, boo. They always make everything is justified. Everything is justified. This little piece of hair right here is driving me crazy. I don't even know where you go. Yeah. Our deaths are always justified. They tried to justify George Floyd's death until they couldn't anymore. Ahmaud Arbery. They weren't even going to arrest the people who murdered him. Breonna Taylor's killers got off. She was home in her bed, sleep. She wasn't even bothering nobody. They was at the wrong house. But it's justified. Oh, absolutely, Nola. Yes, you guys, go subscribe to Nola. I had subbed to Nola Reese. All right, BJ Dez. Yes, let's support our people. They only charge to try and shut us up. That's it. When the outrage becomes too much for them to handle, then yeah, they'll charge them. They don't get convicted the majority of the time. And the sad thing is that when they do get convicted, we're celebrating, right? Like, finally, like we can break. Like, why? The year is 2022. The year is 2022. Why isn't this normal for people who do things to people, whether they're a police officer or not, to be convicted of the crime? Like, police officers are perfect people. They're human. Last time I checked, they were human beings. And we're all faulty by design. By design. We're all, including me. We got some flaws. There's some flaws in your programming. And you don't have to be accountable for those flaws in your programming because that's the career you chose. I've never heard of that. I've never heard of that. So the bottom line is, you could be a racist. You could hate people of a different color. You could hate people of a different sexual orientation. You could become a police officer and get a badge. And you can take all of that hate with you into your job every day. And the opportunity kind of presents itself. And you can just do all of your hateful things and be excused. You can do all of your hateful things and it can be justified because of a career path that you chose. And so you don't think that people who have hate in their heart don't target and choose a career like that so that they can take out their hate and their anger and say, oops, I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it. Forgive me. I thought I saw a gun and it was a phone. I thought I saw a gun and it was Skittles. I thought I saw a gun and there was nothing there. And you shoot people in their back, running away from you because you're so scared of their back. What the fudge? I said fudge. Fudge. Yep. Thanks for subscribing to Nola BJ Dez. Yeah, which is true. We can definitely stop talking about Black women. We need to take time to work on ourselves and be there for our women. It's Women's History Month. What better time to do it than this month? What better time to start than today? We're only 5 days into the month of March. Let's do better. Let's be better. Let's not talk about women this month, you guys. Let's uplift women. Let's inform women. Did you know it was this bad about Black women being killed by police? Let's just do things. I'm not a perfect person, and I'm going to mess up from time to time, even on this big old YouTube platform. But I hope and I pray that what I bring here is informative and that what I bring here doesn't hurt another person. And if it does, I'm going to apologize in advance. And my goal is to do better the next time. If you let me know something is hurtful, if you let me know something kind of felt off to you, I am really, really, really focused on course correction. I believe in it. I have to believe in it. I'm a teacher. I can't believe that children need to course correct if I don't believe in course correction. And as a human being, we all should believe in course correction. You are not perfect. Nobody is. Perfection doesn't exist. But trying to get there should be your goal every day. And trying to do better and be better, I will hope it's your goal every day. If not, God bless you. They have to love themselves enough, but they talk about, I think it's talk about the next Black woman is doing better. So they want to try and bring her down because she's doing better than them. Why not do better your effing self? Flat out. Like, we can all uplift. We can all do better. We can all be better. We don't have to be crabs in a barrel. We don't. Like, that analogy doesn't even have to exist. We can just be sisters and hold each other's hands and just walk together. And sometimes you have to let your sister's hands go and let them go. And when they want to come back, come on, sis. Come on back. Right? But we need to do better. It's, again, we just had Black History Month. We got Women's History Month. I'm kind of rolling all of the things up into one. But this is Women's History Month, and we need to do better, women, especially Black women, especially Black women on YouTube. Child, I'm just going to say that. It's not your fault, Organized. It's just how my emotions are set up. I understand, Evil. I love your passion. I'm parked the rest of the day. They rescheduled till midnight. Oh, goodness. Midnight. So you got to start driving again at midnight? Girl, like at midnight, I got like about 3-4 more hours of sleep. I done been asleep for a few, girl, midnight. It is so exhausting to hate so much negative energy. Yeah, negative energy is toxic energy too, right? Like, you take it in and then you have to give it back out. Unless you take it in, and if you don't give it back out, you're going to get sick. It causes colds. It causes sometimes the flu. It causes sometimes you can build up and have diseases that you didn't even know you have going on inside of your body. Like, that energy does transform inside of your body. It amazes me how we are deemed violent and everything under the sun when it's clear deflection. Clear deflection. Everything we are labeled is the history and culture of the people who took us flat out. But guess what, Nola? And this is something that I know from being an educator, is so much of our history that is not taught in schools, and parents sometimes don't know our history or the history of the country, and they're not teaching it or talking about it in their homes. And so there are generations of us who believe that history is so old. They believe 50 years ago is old. They believe 100 years ago is old, and they're just not interested in that. They believe talking about slavery is like, why we got to talk about that? It wasn't me. We wasn't slaves. And then, the clear people will say, well, I didn't hold slaves. There is historical trauma on both sides that have been passed down from generation to generation to generation to generation. And some of that is never, ever discussed. And that trauma historically doesn't go away. It evolves and it turns into these institutions and these systems that we have to function in on a daily basis. It turns into us scapegoating each other. It turns into us vilifying each other and hating each other because the system is telling you that this is how you should feel about this person. The system is telling you that this is how, and you've done no in-depth analysis. You've done no historical analysis to ask yourself, how did I get here? Why am I feeling like this? Especially about people that look like me. Why do I feel this way? Because it's in your DNA. And you got to do work to undo a lot of that trauma. Definitely trying to do better every day. Absolutely. Yeah. I'm only four. Wait, Evo. Excuse me. Wait. Girl, I'm coming to your channel after this because I got questions. You're 4 miles away from where you got to finish and you got to stay where you are until midnight. Huh? Girl, you could walk there, walk back, walk there, walk back before midnight a couple few times. What? I'm so confusion. Yes, we have to do better. I can get out of character, but I know how to pull myself back. I will always apologize if I hurt someone. I would never want to hurt another sister intentionally. Amen, BJ Dez. Amen. And another thing that I've learned in my big number age is that even if you hurt somebody unintentionally, you can apologize and you might not have the same relationship. And that's okay. The apology has been given and the universe hears it. And it's okay if that relationship isn't the same. And even if the other person doesn't forgive you, the apology is to release yourself from something that you may have done to that person. You would want the other person to accept it, but that has nothing to do with you. You keep walking forward in your path because that's all you can do. You can't control anybody else out here, just you. Scapegoating. Child, that's all they do. Yeah, I'm coming to your house in a minute, girl. When I get off of here, I'm coming over there because I'm confusion. Yes, we created algebra, geometry, and the first facial recognition patterns long time ago in our own country, years before slavery. We got pyramids, we got Jesus, we got all types of things, child. They can't even recreate a pyramid. Them Elizabeth Taylor movies with the queen being a white one. I was like, girl, how? We all came from Africa. All those places are in Africa. Make it make sense. Sabbath day for Evelyn. Yay. All right, we have a definition for scapegoat. Scapegoat. Learn to pronounce verb gerund or present participle. Girl, you got me saying big old words this morning. Scapegoating make a scapegoat of a few things are harder for kids to bear than being scapegoated. Hush, Bikini. Ain't nobody ask you. You know, Bikini is telling, just like you be snitching too, Evil. Evil, you be snitching. That's why I'm telling on you because of Pac. I'm telling on you because of Pac. I'm telling. All right, you guys, that is the end of our discussion. Say their name. Black women who have been killed by police deserve to be remembered. I am going to grab the Say Her Name link. I will put that in the description. I thank you guys for joining me today. I will be back with my girl Foxy tomorrow. Yes, it is Women's History Month, but you know what? We're going to give some love to Black men. Because there's a lot of Black men out here who are so upset with Black women. And you know what, brothers? We love you. We do. So we're going to give a little love to Black men tomorrow during Women's History Month because we can. All right, you guys, love you. Peace. And I will see you tomorrow. I see some of y'all in some chats a little bit today, but I got stuff to do too. I got some things to do today, but I'll see y'all later. Love you. Bye. Mwah.